All right, what's going on, peoples? I noticed it's kind of flickering. Sun's kind of. So I'm outside again. Sun kind of keeps hitting the camera I see there. I think that'll be good. Let me kind of shift around here in my chair. Um. So yeah, Hey. What do I have to talk about today? I know what I want to talk about today. Um. That something kind of screwed me up. I want to talk about allowing space. All right, get with me. Allowing space to achieve things you want. Goals, if you want to call them, but I don't want to make this like a goal. Go watch the goal video. Maybe. But allowing and creating space to work as hard as you possibly can towards something, a goal, and but allowing room. This is the critical part. I think no one really talks about. Allowing room for things to change or go wrong. Not according to your a plan or things out of your control. I talk a lot about control. Apparently, it keeps popping up. Um, here's some more elaboration on that. I read a book a while ago. It talked about kind of building the container of your life, metaphorically, figuratively. It talks how we use specific things such as rules and just things that we've learned to interpret the world, and we build this container of life. I'm not doing a good job explaining this, but hold on. As we get older, so we have this container and things that we know are right, boundaries that we've set with certain things. Uh, just kind of a orientation of how we expect the world to work. But as we get older and recognize this container and what it's like made of, um, we start filling it with things such as new ideas, new rules, new realizations, or we realize that the old rules and old realizations don't work with what we now see in life at an older age. Um, the author, explains it way better. His name is Richard Rohr. I think the book title is Falling Upward. There's a plane passing overhead. Hope it's not too bad. I'm gonna keep talking though. So yeah, I recommend reading it. It's pretty eye opening. It's good. Um, and when you start reaching a stage of life where you're like, what I'm seeing and hearing now isn't congruent with what I have started to believe or been taught or just have always assumed is right. That's hard. Um, yeah. Um, hmm. Here's why I think we think we should know what. Well, it's just it. I think we kind of know. Do we know why it's hard? Yeah, it's a shift in what we have to change the way we think. That's hard. We want things to be easy. We want things to like make sense all the time. When they stop making sense, that's difficult. As a kid, when you're young, you're taught certain things, and because you have all that you're taught certain things that you just have capacity for. For instance, this is the example I'm going with this. I heard the message somewhere: make goals and achieve them. Never stop. Achieve them at almost any cost. Almost any cost. Um, I don't even know why. I think this was to prevent the effects of laziness or to overcome opposition. Like, don't let anything get you down. Just keep on going, going, pushing, pushing. You can obviously see why that's good. You might also see why it's bad. Um, but as you get older, and here's one reason why it's not always good or even possible. As you get older, you realize there are some things you can't control that will affect your goals. Uh, I talked about this in the last video, but like injuries, catastrophes, deaths, jobs, loss of job, sickness, cancer. I just know a lot of people going through a lot of crap right now, and we all go through our own stuff. But when those things happen, like these things outside of our control, it doesn't. It does not mean that we failed. I say it that way because I need to believe it. It does not mean that we failed, or came up short. Um, Side note, even if you did fail and came up short, you know, I hate to say this, but that in most things, I will say that's part of reaching a goal. You fail. I mentioned before, like in another video, like that suffering and that pain and those things outside of our control. Those are our best teachers, and we may have learned things from that failure in an effort to achieve a goal that we may never have learned if we just went ahead and achieved the goal and the road was all smooth. Whew, wow, that was a boom. All right. So, anyways, but even if you did fail, let's go back there for a second. You always, I think almost always, I don't know when you wouldn't, unless you're dead, but you always have the option to catch your breath, take a minute, think, and get up again. Give yourself the freedom and grace to allow the room for things to happen to you that are out of your control, not in your plan. An example of this, I was doing a hike a couple years ago, and it was three of us. It was about a 3 week hike, and this was like a straight through hike. Like there was no like I'm going to the car after 3 or 4 days. We're driving somewhere else, which is some backpacking is. But no, this was like we start at X, we end at Z, and it's only 3 letters, X, Y, Z, whatever. So, but you know what I mean. So like so the two of them had to bail out due to injuries and sickness during the hike, and so I was like, well, I'm feeling pretty good. I want to keep going. We were in California, and I live in Cleveland, and I'm like, I'm not going back. I feel great. So, but anyway, so that being said, it's still kind of a shock to your system because now I have to carry what 3 people were sharing. I had to figure out how to carry that with one person and keep on going for another week and a half. It might have been 2 weeks. I don't know. But so as I'm going, I think the next day, maybe even later that day or 2 days, I don't know. It was a short time afterwards. There was this it's a notebook, but it's like a kind of like a just a. There are rangers on the trail and like other people, and they'll write things in these. I can't think of the name. It's like a lockbox. There's paper. You write stuff on it. Someone's got a good name for that, right? I can't think of it. But anyway, someone said like, "Hey, up ahead, watch out for." There's a lot of snowfall that year. He's like, in the paper in the document said like, be really careful, stay on the trail, which you couldn't see because there was so much snow. You're just guessing the whole time. But you could totally fall through like off a cliff basically over the trail. That kind of like scares you a little bit. And I'm like, I thought of a couple things. I was like, well, one, there's enough people out here. Just don't be stupid. You'll be fine, right? But that just presented me the opportunity because it also gave you a way out. Like if you want to go out and leave, you can go this way. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there for a minute, and I'm like, all right, everybody just left. I could just leave too. But I almost had to like, that was a time for me to like catch my breath and like think what I really wanted and make a conscious choice as to pick a direction and to my best of my ability figure out why I chose that direction and then keep going. So anyways, that was a whole side note on even if you fail. I hope you remember what I just said before because I don't. You can go back and rewind it. So oh yeah, when injuries and crap like that happens to you or sickness, like that's not you failing. Okay, then I said side note. Take a minute, catch your breath, keep going. Yeah, okay. So I think we have a tendency to beat ourselves up when things that we planned don't go the way that we planned, and we feel like, and when things go wrong, and we feel like a failure. Let's not do that. Don't do that. I'm preaching to myself too, because I need to hear it. That's it for today. That was a thought I had, and I wanted to share. Thought it was useful. I try to share my useful thoughts. That's the whole point of this, right? Thoughts I think are useful. I kind of think I need to try and do this more often. I had a long hiatus. I don't want to do that anymore. But that's it. I'm rambling now. You like that. Maybe you don't. I'm going on a long video again. All right, bye.